Hello. I do want to start by saying a few words. As most of you are well aware, on Wednesday this last week, I think it was the 13th, the Supreme Court overturned the Safer at Home, which opened up opportunities for businesses to start back up as well as churches to gather once again. On Thursday, we had an elder meeting scheduled, and so the elders of Faith Chapel and Pastor John and I met together. We prayed, we talked, we discussed the issues involved with doing so. We had already had that planned as the agenda to talk about when we were going to be reopening and what that might look like, or when the possibility of reopening was there. Our desire, so that you understand, is to open as soon as possible for us to do so. The considerations are that we can create a safe environment within our congregation, our facility for our congregation to come and be able to worship together. We don't have an exact date. We have a date that we're aiming for. We have a few more folks that we need to talk with about how to make that happen, and we will let you know as soon as possible, hopefully end of next week, what Sunday we will be reopening our in-person worship services. We would definitely ask for your prayers as leaders of the church to have wisdom from Jesus as the head of the church on when to open, how to open, what that looks like, and how we go about doing that. We obviously want to be as safe as possible, but also recognize there is importance and value and understand to be gathered together in person in worship. That is a hallmark, a reality, and a calling that God has put upon us as his people to gather and join when it's reasonable and safe to do so. And so we desire to do that as soon as possible. So we ask for your prayers as we continue to make decisions and pray and think about that as your leaders, as your ministry team leaders of the church. I would also ask that you would be praying and thinking about our fellow congregation members. Obviously, this is an interesting time. We don't know exactly what the road ahead holds. Some of us are very unconcerned about this. Some of us are very concerned about this. Many of us are sort of in the middle, not quite sure what to make of all that has gone on in this. So I would really ask, as your pastor, as your friend, to be gracious and patient with each other in this process. Some of us are much more ready to gather together and able to do so as far as physically and health-wise. Others are in a very different place and have very different needs and concerns than others might. And so I just ask that you would be respectful of each other's views in that you would understand that this is a very unknown situation that we are in. And we definitely want to interact with each other in love and grace and patience and understanding as we move forward in this. I have great confidence that our congregation will do that. But just to remember that as we move forward on this, that we're all seeking Christ and his guidance for the church as a whole, as well as for our individual lives. And we're definitely very excited to have the opportunity within the next few weeks to be back together in worship, gathering together. One other thing I'll say about that is our plan is, as we start back in-person worship, to also continue to have our services online. We're looking into doing a live stream service option, as well as having it recorded, available later in the week or early each week after we meet together. So we've got some plans in place for those who it wouldn't be wise for them to come back or who choose not to come back, to be able to still worship with us as far as our Sunday morning opportunities are concerned. So we will, again, be sending out more information and details on our plan for this within the next week or two, as we talk with the appropriate people within our congregation and as we pray and think about this a bit more. So thanks for your understanding and grace.